Yeah. What is good, Regis recipients? How are y'all doing today? Let me know in the comment section. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of Regis Reflections. Y'all already know each and every episode we have a different guest. And this week we got my boy, Big Dog Hakeem in the building. Say what's up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? What's up?
How we
Good to
doing
be
today?
here.
How we
Yeah,
doing
I'm good.
today?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Amen. Amen. How's your mental doing on a scale of 1 to 10?
Hey, it's better. I give it like a solid 8.5, trending toward a 9. Semester's done.
That's true.
Got a couple finals, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's looking up.
Some light, some light. So tell the people, Hakeem, what sport do you play here at the University of Notre Dame?
I play football. I'm a tight end.
Oh, big
Yes, sir.
tight end
Yes,
you.
sir.
How
Big
tall are
tight
you?
end. 6'5",
6'5"?
7 foot on my money. Maybe 7'5".
Okay, standing on business.
You
Standing
feel me?
on
You feel me?
business.
You feel me? You
So
feel me?
did you ever explore playing basketball?
You see, I didn't play basketball because everybody asked me if I played basketball. And so I wanted to be different as a kid. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't know if playing football made me different, but I like also rode, which is mad random. And then I ran track as a kid too in like middle school and shit. So
So where are you from?
I'm from the DMV area. Shout out to DMV.
Okay, wait, like mid Baltimore? Like Baltimore?
Baltimore not really the DMV.
What?
Baltimore's not the DMV. So Baltimore is its own area. They got their own lingo, their own clothes and everything.
Okay, yeah, I know the Baltimore accent. I've heard
Yeah, it's weird. They be saying weird things up there. I don't claim it. No disrespect to Baltimore though, but I'm from the DMV, so DC, Northern Virginia, and Southern Maryland. I went to high school in Northern Virginia. I live in Southern Maryland now, so big DMV.
So how you like it? If you could describe the DMV or your area where you grew up in 3 words, how would you describe it?
And that's a good question. I say culture, cuisine, and I say lively.
Lively. You said cuisine, right?
Yeah, the food.
Talk about the food in DMV. I've never actually heard about that.
Really?
Touch a little bit on it.
It's like hella cultures. You got a big Middle Eastern population, huge Hispanic population, of course, a big Black population. Like everybody from everywhere, nation's capital, they all come there. So you eat so many different types of food. Like even like elementary, middle school, like your friends would bring lunch and like maybe they're Vietnamese and you have Vietnamese food randomly during lunch,
Wow.
So it's just a great place. It's like a big mixing pot. So,
Do you all have good seafood out there?
You want seafood, you gotta go to Baltimore.
Okay.
For sure.
Big Baltimore.
Take the trip. Yeah.
So who or what got you started playing football and what age did you start playing?
That's a great question. So I had a quick stint in like 7th, 8th grade. I wanted to play football. My mom was a little hesitant. Crazy story though. We were in church. This lady was praying over me and she was like, I see your son playing football.
Are you serious?
Swear. And that's why my mom let me play football to this day. That's the only reason she ever let me play football, because she used to think like the concussions and everything.
Yeah, that's
like, like my parents are African. They just think about school all day. They don't think about sports. But so then in 8th grade, I played for like a season, but then I moved. And so when I got to high school, like I just had other things on my mind. I was like playing soccer. But then this coach, he keep coming up to me. He's like, bro, you should play football. You should play football. You should play football. You should play football. So I actually didn't start playing until my junior year of high school.
Junior year of high school.
I was on JV as a junior, which is crazy. But it was my first year. I didn't know nothing. I was learning the basics. I was getting right. My boys are there. All my boys are on varsity balling out, So I say that's really when my mental health really started taking with it, because it's just like you see all your boys on varsity, you're like, damn. I mean, like, of course I was literally like I was learning everything brand new. The next year I'm on varsity, I'm starting, I have a good season. I had like a D1 HBCU offer from Hampton University to play there. I toured Columbia. I thought of playing there. It didn't work out. So then I had good grades. I applied to schools. I made peace with football. I moved on. COVID hit.
I was asking about. So you graduated. You graduated during the COVID era,
right? Yeah.
So you didn't have a graduation.
No, we only had homecoming. No prom. No graduation. It was virtual. Yeah, crazy time. But hella time to think.
That's true. That's true. A lot to develop yourself.
Exactly.
Think about who you really are.
Yeah.
What you do in your future.
Exactly. And it was like I was staying at home. Like I was done with school. Like I was really doing schoolwork. And it's like before you go to college. So got a lot of like who am I? Like I was wrestling my identity. Trying to get closer to God. Trying to figure out what I'm trying to do. And like I just be on Instagram, just seeing these videos of these like college football players. I'm like, damn, like I still love it though. Like maybe
you gotta
like I turned on the offer. I was like, I'm good. Like I appreciate it, but like I had really good grades. I have like high expectations for myself. I want to go to like a really good, like the best school I can get into academically wise. So I just applied around. I ended up getting the ND. all praise to God. And my parents were like, you should try and walk on. And I'm like, I don't know, like
Yeah.
I don't know, like I made peace with it. Like that's the big level. Like I don't know if I'm built for that, like
Mhm.
I haven't been playing too long. But the thing about it is you can't tell God what he's gonna do.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm
He
trying to
has a
say?
plan for you
You feel
ever
me?
since you were born into this world. He already has a plan for you.
That's
He
it.
knows exactly what he has in store for
That's
you.
it. That's it. So I was just trying to follow that. I was praying during COVID.
Mhm.
I told God, if you wanted to be, let it be. I came here, I walked on, end of my freshman year, started my sophomore year, so it's a blessing. It's a
Oh, that
blessing.
is
It's a
a blessing.
blessing.
So talk me through that mental process, you graduated COVID
Hmm.
era,
Hmm.
then you say, okay, I'm done with football. I want to
Hmm.
focus on academics.
Yeah.
And now kind of walk me through that mental aspect of being a walk-on and trying to kind of get to that to be and live up to the team and everything like that.
I mean, that's a great question. I tell you, being a walk-on has probably been the hardest thing I've ever done my entire life.
Really?
Yeah, like academically, you already know Notre Dame, like
Yeah. Academic rigorous.
rigorous.
Like,
I don't care what school you went to. I don't care what you go. I don't care what your major is. It's rigorous. So I say freshman year, I was a chemical engineer too. Yeah, I was
oh
violent. I was
boy,
violent.
come
I
on,
was violent.
man.
I was violent. I was
Chemical
violent.
engineering? Oh, come on, man.
I was wilding, bro. So I was grinding down. I'm like, should I even do this with football? Like I'm tweaking. Like I'm talking to my mom. I'm like, mom, I was like,
I don't know about
my mental health was really struggling like that. Like, imposter syndrome. Like you start thinking, like, am I even built for like Notre Dame in general? Like, do I even got this enough in me? And then on the field, it's like you're in the classroom thinking about that, and then you're on the field thinking about that. You're like, damn, like I really shouldn't be here either. It's like, where should I be?
where should I be? Wondering where you belong. Yeah.
No, for real. It's like, where should I be? You got I remember my freshman year, you had Michael Mayer in my group, George
Mm.
Takis. You had some really great tight ends, like just overall some great product on the field. And I mean, you see these guys run routes, and I'm like, hey, when I run it, it don't look like that. I ain't lifting that weight. So I say for me in the beginning, it was really a struggle. Like I'd say I deal with like, and I want to say like I want to preface this and say like I had really good mental health. Like in high school, like probably junior year was the lowest, and that's when I first started playing football. But senior year was like really good. Like I was making plays, my mental health was good.
Mm.
Like so I'd say like really in my life, I didn't really struggle with anxiety and like different things like that. But I think in this process, God humbled me
Mm.
and showed me that anyone can do it.
That's
Like
true.
I wasn't better than somebody else because I hear people struggle with anxiety. I'm like, damn, like that sucks. But I had no empathy because I never experienced it. It's hard to have empathy when you don't experience things. But
Mm.
now, like I think, like so, in a way, I'm thankful for it. Not like, of course, I would if I couldn't, like, I would not want to go through that process of like bad mental health. But in a way, it's a blessing because now I feel like I understand it. And I can be
Mm.
there for others because I know what it feels like.
That's true.
It's a lonely place. But I say like really freshman year, like when I first got there, and it was a new position too.
Mhm.
So I was a defensive end in high school, and now I'm a tight end.
Oh,
Yeah,
flip
so
the script.
they
Okay, okay.
switched on me, and it's like you don't really got much of a say as a walk on. So I took the blessing, I ran with it. So I say freshman year was hard. I was trying to learn everything, but you're comparing yourself to people who are 5 stars going to the league, first round drafts.
Mm.
The thief of joy is comparison, or comparison is a thief of joy. I think I
Yeah.
said it oppositely. So I'd say really that's the lowest. Like I was dealing with anxiety before practice. I was shaking. Like I lost my appetite. I wasn't even eating. Like I mean, like I was losing weight. Like I was barely talking to my parents. Like my grades were like sophomore year was like I was taking like 18 credits like in the fall. Like
Along with football?
yeah, along with football. Like it was hard, bro. Like it was just day to day. Like I didn't love my life. Like and it's so weird because you meet people that are like, oh, that's so cool. Like that's a blessing. Like you go to Notre
Yeah.
Dame, you play football, and I'm like, yeah, it is a blessing, but it didn't feel like that. And I think that's the biggest thing.
So how did you get over that hump freshman year of the anxiety and the imposter syndrome of not knowing who you are and
Mm.
if you belong there? How did you get over that?
I mean, I say you already talked to Charity. I'd say Charity is a big part of that. And like her story, like you already talked about it, like her story is amazing. If y'all got time, go watch that one for sure. If you haven't seen that, man, the other videos
Tap
too.
in.
But I say Charity, we and her were talking. She was like, like I just got this car from my parents. Like I'm gonna start going to church. Like, Hakeem, let's go. Like, you're coming with me. Cause I met Charity beforehand.
Mhm.
And so her and I started connecting with God. And after that, my life changed. Like I've always like I was raised in faith. Like I
Mhm.
kept my faith, but when you realize that your value is not in what you do in the football field, what you do in the classroom, like you're valuable regardless, and God has a plan for you. When you realize that, that's when you shine because you let go of the stress and anxiety of the standards, and you just try to do what you can.
Yeah.
Now, that's what really saved me. Like like I don't compare myself anymore. Like I'm my own person. Like if I'm on the field, like maybe someone's faster than me, maybe they're lifting more weight than me. It doesn't matter. I'm reaching my best Hakeem, and that's all I can do.
So,
You know what I'm trying to say? So I say that really And of course, like I still struggle now, and like it's so hard not to compare yourself when you're constantly being compared by others.
Mhm.
But I say that's really what got me through it is just realizing that, like, like first off, like nothing defines your worth. Not how attractive you are, how smart you are, doesn't make you a better, more valuable person. We're all equal. And I think just connecting with my faith, like the foundation of who I am, that got me out of that dark place.
Yeah, faith is really, I feel like it's a big part, and everyone truly needs it, especially if you're in that athletic form.
You feel
I
me?
know Notre Dame has the Notre Dame Christian athlete. Are you part of that as
Yeah, yeah,
well?
yeah. NDCA is big. So I do Young Life too. I don't know if you heard of that.
Mm.
I started that in high school. It's kind of like NDCA, but it's really just for anybody. It's just a casual place. We like play games, talk about faith. And I say like those like spiritual groups like Bible devotions. That's really just been powerful for me, especially when you're talking to other athletes. Like you talk to Charity Cleveland, it doesn't matter. No, you talk to Benjamin Morrison, you talk to like people on such different levels, but still
Mhm.
experiencing the same thing,
Exactly. Like
every
everyone,
human basis.
everyone goes through the same thing. I feel like, and I feel everyone is really not there yet. Not everyone feels open enough to share it,
You feel me?
but deep internally, they all go through the same
Same
thing.
thing. Like we're all humans at the same day. Doesn't matter how good you are or anything like that. We're all humans at the same day. So yeah, 100%.
That's true. So I know we talked about earlier how Notre Dame is such an academic rigorous school. So
Mhm.
what is your major currently right now?
I'm science business.
Science business. So what are you trying to do with that in the future?
So science business is like a combination of like pre-med and like busince
Oh,
in the
pre
name.
pre
Yeah, yeah. It's get real. It gets real, man. It gets real, man. Physics been beating me. I can't lie. But I mean, to be honest, I think I wanna. So right now I'm working at Bank of America when I graduate. All glory to God. Like I got that program because, and that's another thing going back to like being a student athlete. Like it's a blessing in disguise sometimes. Like the program I'm in is called Make a Play Foundation. Is for like Division 1 athletes who are people of color,
Mhm.
and it matches you
Oh.
with like top tier companies. So I did like two consulting internships with like McKinsey and like another big consulting company, and then I did a finance full internship this summer with Bank of America, and that's just a blessing because I was a student athlete, and
Mhm.
one of my boys who used to be a walk on put me onto the program. So you see, like,
Yeah.
it's a blessing. So like, I don't know if I would have had that job if I wasn't
Mhm.
part of the program. Maybe I would have, maybe I wouldn't. Who knows? But at the end of the day, I had it because I was a student athlete, and now I have a job out of college. So
Exactly. Oh, that's good. So how do you have time to balance with your major and Notre Dame team being such a really academic rigorous
mm,
school along with being a D1 athlete, football
mm,
player and traveling everything? How do you find time to balance?
that's a great question. I feel like, to be honest, like for me personally, everyone's is different, but for me personally, it's like really like during the weeknights, like I'm locked in every night. Like I'm going
Mhm.
home after practice, I'm turning off my phone, I'm locking in, I'm scheduling time out. And
Mhm.
I'm really just pen and pad grinding. Like
Mhm.
I'm not really a good like see things in the classroom and I understand automatically. I gotta go through and practice it.
Yeah, I'm the same
So
way. Yeah.
yeah, I like it just doesn't work for me. So I say like that's the biggest thing, but I'd say also like seeking out help when I need it. Like if I don't
Oh.
understand something, like seeking
Mhm.
out help, like not being too proud to be like I don't get this. Like please explain it to you.
So
Can you please explain it to
how
me?
did you reach out for help in this instance?
I say the biggest things is talking to the people who care. Like
Mhm.
recognizing people in your life who care and are willing to put time and effort for you, and reaching out to those guys because those are the people who have your best future, like have your future in mind for you.
Okay. So from my perspective, a non-athlete here at the University of Notre
Hmm.
Dame, we see athletes around campus, you all riding on your scooter, going to the good. And we think you all have this, this high life, everything is all good. But can you share something that the general public doesn't really know about being a D1 athlete that's not all sunshine? Just talk about some of the lows or stuff that you kind of went through
Yeah,
behind the scenes.
I mean, I say 100% from the outside. It's anything, to be honest. You look from the outside of like an NFL player, you're like, oh my gosh, their life's amazing.
Mhm.
And it probably is, but there's downfalls. And I think in college athletics, especially at a school like Notre Dame, like Coach Freeman will talk about this all the time. He's like, you come here, you choose hard.
Mm,
Like, there's no harder place to be a student athlete than Notre Dame, and I'll
that's
say
true.
that 100%.
I agree.
Notre Dame is the highest athletic and educational school. There's no school that's ranked, maybe Stanford in some sports, but
Mhm.
overall, you're not really beating Notre Dame. Like everything you're competing is the best. You're in the classroom, the kids you're competing with are the best in the nation. You're on the field, the kids you're competing with the best in the nation. So I say is really the hard thing that the public doesn't know is really like first off our schedules. Like tomorrow I'm up at 7:45. I got practice the whole day and we got finals next week. That's my reading day. I practice Saturday, Sunday. Those are my reading days. So I got
Mhm.
exams next Monday and I got practice 2 days. How am I going to study? I'm not studying as much as someone who's in the library the whole day today. But
Mhm.
I still got the same standard to get good grades, don't I? You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I still got to be up tomorrow and ready to practice. I still got expectations on the field. I can't stay up till 3 a.m. studying because I got to be up at 7:45. So I say it's like it's really a hard balance to have. And I say being a walk-on is even harder because like I'm not going to the league, right? So
Hmm.
I have to have good grades. I can't, what I'm trying to say? I can't
Yeah.
not get good grades, like
Hmm.
so it's like, it's really a balance. I say that's one of the hardest things being a student athlete is finding that balance. And I say the second hardest thing is like I feel like you're always constantly being watched. Like you have like,
Mm.
like people are like,
Yeah.
oh,
Eyes
like
are on you at all
eyes are on you
times.
all the time, so like you're constantly judged more. You make a mistake, it's not, it's more hyphen and emphasized. So I say
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing too.
So I know you mentioned the league. So throughout your whole process of high school and even here at Notre Dame as a walk-on, did you ever potentially want to go to the NFL at some point, or were you just like, oh, I'm just gonna be a student athlete and then go into this corporate business after college?
I mean, I'd say for sure, like before I started, like when I was in the process, I'm like, yeah, definitely like that's a goal. Like, why else should I play college football? But I say when I started playing college football,
Hmm.
like I kind of realized I was like, I don't know, like, because for you to go to the next level, and I think this isn't anything in life. I know this in football because that's what I experienced, but I
Hmm.
think this is anything in life. When you get to the highest level, you got to be obsessed.
That's true.
I mean, like obsessed. Like the people who are great. I'm talking about JD Bertrand, Jack Kaiser, BMO, like all those guys. Like Cam Hart was talking about it. They're spending 4 or 5 hours every day watching film. Like that's what they're doing. Like you got to be obsessed.
You gotta
Like
give that extra 10% that no one
extra,
sees.
exactly. And that has to be a day. That can be once a week you do that. That can't be every couple of days. That's every day you're giving that extra 10%. You know, and I'd say also like being like a walk on, you don't have as many opportunities as these scholarship players do too.
Hmm.
And you're balancing school. Like we have like all the walk ons. Like you'll talk to us. We have all real majors, whether they're finance, there's a couple engineers, some pre med kids. Like we're real majors. Like most of the scholars, like they're majors. Of course they're real, but like they're like calmer,
Yeah.
more like doable and like easy to manage. So I'd say they have more time to do it. But as a walk on, it's like like you're most likely for the most part not going to league. So I'd say really like when I realized that extra 10%, like I don't know if I have the time to give that 10%, and I don't know if I'm obsessed enough. That's the biggest thing. I don't know if I love it like as much as I need to love it.
Mm.
So I think that's the biggest thing, the biggest differentiator factor
Okay.
about going to the league.
So could you touch on mainly like the travel aspect of football and everything like that? Because we see, you all travel, you take these planes, you go
Yeah,
to these hotels. Like I said, from my perspective, we think it's all, laughs and giggles and it's high life. But can you just kind of touch on that
yeah,
pretty much?
yeah. We just traveled to Stanford a couple weeks ago, and I mean, I'd say it's like it's your whole weekend. You're
Mhm.
waking up, you're leaving on Friday. We have a plane charter for us, which is a blessing. We fly out of South Bend. You land in Stanford, you're headed to the hotel. You get to the hotel, you have a team meeting, you have a team lunch. You have like a 2 hour break, then you're going to bed. You're waking up the next day, Saturday's the game day. You're doing game day preparations, you're getting to it, warming up. You get to the field, you play the game. Right after the game, we don't even go back to the hotel, we go straight back to the plane.
Oh
After we
wow.
go straight back to the plane, we fly home. We get here. A lot of times, by the time you're getting back, it's 11, 12, midnight, 1. You're
Mhm.
going to bed. The next day you wake up is Sunday. It's our off day, but you got homework. You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
You got schoolwork, you
Yeah.
got recovery, and then bang, it's Monday and you're back to it.
So it's just a repeat.
It's a
You just
repeat
on go at all
on go
times.
at all times. So that's the thing about it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a blessing. Like, we eat well.
You good. You good.
Oh, guys, my phone. I mean, did I get this right? All right, bad. Like we eat well and everything, which is a blessing, but like you don't have any free time. I think that's the biggest thing being a student athlete. You don't have any free time. So
just that that dedication all the time. I
yeah,
feel like a lot
yeah,
of people truly don't really know about that. So being on go at all the times, just practice,
yeah.
games, homework, does that ever take a toll on your body or your mind?
Oh, the body for sure and your mind for sure, because you're always got to be at the highest level, and it's so hard to push yourself to be at the highest level at all times.
Mhm.
Crazy enough, I was thinking about this a couple of days ago. Like, I think that's the hardest thing about football is like making yourself do what you don't want to do. Like,
Mm,
you're waking up, like you don't want to go outside and run. You don't want to
yeah.
go lift weights at 5 a.m., but you're doing it every day. So how can you make yourself do something that you don't want to do every single day? That's really
Mhm.
the biggest thing about being on go. Like everybody's human, like student athletes are human. Like some days I just want to lay down and watch Netflix all day and chill, but I can't.
Yeah, you gotta get
You
up.
just can't. You got to be on go. You got to be ready. You got to be wired. I mean, people handle that different ways. Some of them are not as healthy. Some of them are as healthy. So I think the biggest thing is finding a healthy way.
Mhm.
Not trying to turn to drugs. Smoking, drinking. just unhealthy ways to handle that stress and pressure, but just trying to do it in a healthy way, which is not always easy to do.
So how did you do it in a healthy way for your cause?
That's a great question. I think for me, it's like sometimes just separating like football in its own sphere, school in its own sphere, and my personal life in my own sphere. Like not letting them combine sometimes. Like I'll get home from practice, I like watch the practice on my iPad. I'm like, all right, you know what, Hakeem, like for the next 2 hours, like I'm shutting that off. I'm not thinking about it. You know what I'm trying
Mhm.
to say? I can wake up tomorrow morning, rewatch the film, figure out what I did right, what I did wrong. But for now, like I need a break. I need a mental break. I'll go talk to my friends. I'll watch a movie. You know what I'm trying to say? I'll
Yeah.
decompress so that my mind can get a break from being stressed the whole time. You know what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say?
because you don't want to overwhelm your mind. Because I feel
Exactly.
like if you overwhelm your mind, that's when all the bad thoughts and that's when you
Exactly.
start to lose yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. Overthinking is, bro, it's
That's
terrible. Terrible.
a deadly weapon right there. People
Deadly.
don't know.
Deadly.
Overthink. So is there like so when you go and when you're at these games and everything like that, do you ever get nervous? When you get on field, do you kind of like let your mind at ease or you overthinking? How do you just kind of like
Yeah. I
be
mean,
prepared?
sometimes I get nervous before practice. Like,
Really?
yeah. If we know it's gonna be a hard practice, like sometimes I'll get nervous before that. So I say the biggest thing, for me is really just like I think for me, it's just I know I'm the best when I'm calm. Like when I'm anxious, I can't perform well. You know what I'm
Mhm.
trying to say? Like I'm gonna drop balls, I'm gonna miss my blocks. When I get into being calm and getting the groove and stop overthinking, that's my best. So for me, it's like I try to listen to music and just calm myself and calm my mind. You know what I'm trying to say? I'll pray
Okay.
before, read the word, like read some verses about anxiety, and just like how like just calm myself and just try and be at peace because I know that's when I'm performing at my prime for
That's
sure.
true. Peace. Peace in mind is
Peace
really
of
a
mind,
blessing.
man.
That's a
Yeah.
blessing right there.
Yeah.
So I know you were mentioning about practice. So I know like the practice level from high school versus
Mhm.
on collegiate level. Like just talk me through just that process of just that change up from your junior and senior of high school practice to now being at Notre Dame with D1 athletes who the guys are 300 pounds and practice is,
Yeah.
full. Like just talk about that.
No, that's a great question. And that honestly, that was one of my biggest like wake up calls. Is like, so in high school, like I don't know if it's for other people, but like my practices were like compared to what we do now, were super smooth. Like we'd be out there for an hour and a half, like talking about some like calm plays. Like it was really nothing. Like at ND, I'm talking like practice. So we have to finish classes by 1:40, I'm pretty sure, in season.
Mhm.
So if I'm finished, I end class beforehand, but when I used to end class at 1:40, I'd probably head to the goo, get there about 2 o'clock, eat lunch. We got team meetings around 2:30, 2:40. After our team meetings at 2:40, we probably got individual meeting. We got special teams meetings, and
Mhm.
we got individual meetings, and then we got pre-practice, and then we got practice. So you
Mhm.
combine all that, you're probably
Wait, what is pre-practice?
pre-practice the walkthrough of the plays you're gonna run during practice. Crazy, crazy. Because
Walk through the plays before practice.
literally, you're walking through the plays you're gonna run during practice. So you have like a walkthrough before practice.
Wow,
Yeah,
I would have never known that.
yeah. So crazy. So I say by the time you get there at 2, you're probably leaving 7:30,
Mhm.
and that's Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is a walkthrough, not really a walk, just like a walk run through. So
Mhm.
we'll probably be out there by 6:30, and then Friday's calm. It's just a little walkthrough, nothing crazy, shorter meetings. We'll probably be out of there by like 5:30.
Oh,
So like Tuesday, Wednesdays are like
just
things get real, things get real, things
and
get
then
real.
like right after practice, then you have to go and deal with homework
You
and
feel me?
everything like
Yeah, your
that.
body's tired, your mind is tired, and you got 20 physics questions due at 11 p.m. at 7. You haven't done one yet.
So how do you deal with that physical toll on your body? What do you personally do?
So me personally, I'm really big into, so we have like a ice what's it called?
Like an ice bath?
Ice bath. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have an ice bath. So I'll ice bath my legs because my legs are really what feels it. Our lifts in season aren't as bad.
Mhm.
So like we're not really as sore from that. But I ice bath. We have like a guy who like he's a chiropractor, so he comes. So that's helpful. I stretch a lot too, like before bed. After when I wake up, I had a back problem recently.
Mhm.
So I stretch a lot. And like really, I'll just try and get off my feet when I'm not at practice. Sit down, do homework. Lay down if I can, just let my body relax. But I think your body also like it builds up to handle more loads as you play more too. So
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. So how do you feel? So we know we talked about earlier, all eyes on you. You're a D1 athlete at the University of Notre Dame.
Mhm.
How do you personally feel just being in the moment, just having all those eyes on you, being watched at all times? Because some people can't really handle the pressure.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you personally go about it?
I think it's a great question. I think for me, like, I think it's a blessing at the end of the day because
Mhm.
with those eyes, you'll be able to be a good example of what people should be. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think
Okay.
it's good for me because I now hold myself to a new standard. You know, when you got people watching you, it's like either you can hold yourself to that new standard or you can like crumble under that. And I think for me, like I try my best to hold myself to a high standard so that I can influence people positively,
Mhm.
to show what like outside of just athletics, what student athletes can be and how their personality should be and like different things like that.
That's true. I feel like
Yeah.
it's being humble,
Yeah.
being humble,
100%.
but always being knowing, like confident but humble.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
That's the
Confident
thing.
but humble.
Yeah.
So you recently, I know you talked about your struggles, freshman year and everything like that,
Yeah.
and we know that other athletes go through the same thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to your teammates, during that time period, or like now that you're a senior, do you all come together and like, man, like I was struggling freshman year, and you just like, dang, I didn't know you were struggling because I was struggling too.
Yeah.
Like, did you all talk anything?
I'd say I haven't really like it's like the thing about football is like it's so in and out that like and like the team is big but not really. It's so in and
Mhm.
out that I feel like the younger guys I don't really see as much. I mean some of them walk on younger guys. There's a couple of them I've talked to and we've talked about it and like they've come to like my Bible devotion group.
Mhm.
And I'd say like the biggest thing is like at the end of the day, like everybody goes through this. So one way or another, they're dealing with like every student athlete's dealing with some type of mental like anxiety or pressure or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it's just
Mhm.
everybody our age, to be honest, in a
Yeah, pretty much.
way.
That
Like,
this young adult life in
young adult,
college, like
exactly. Like you
this.
have that. You have
Yeah.
that social pressure. So I'd say, to be honest, just being aware and like when you see certain things, like asking about it. Cause at the end of the day, like football players can be like I think not necessarily at Notre Dame, but like
Mhm.
just in general, they can be very like masculine. You know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say? And like
yeah.
there's still stigma, not really a big stigma, but in a way, kind of still a stigma depending
Like,
on where you grow up and how your
mhm.
parents are. So just when you recognize those signs, just trying to talk to them and comfort them, and just being open about what you go through, because that's gonna make other people more comfortable to talk about what they've gone through.
Mm.
So you gotta be vulnerable.
So you've kind of built that relationship with those younger guys on the team,
Yeah,
kind of opening yourself and everything.
yeah, yeah.
Has that helped them in any chance?
I mean, I hope so. I hope so. I think like everybody's journey is so unique,
Yeah.
but I just hope that like what we were talking about before, like if one person can just get a sense of hope from what I've been through, like that's all that matters to me. You know what I'm trying to say? So
Mhm.
I say like I think it has, but like I think it's a continuous process, just being there for the people around you and trying to support them through what they go through, because
Mm.
it's a bumpy road, it's highs and lows.
That's
So
true.
that's
You
it.
gotta be there, support one another.
Exactly through all those highs and lows.
Now to flip the script, now your freshman year, when you
Mm.
were going through your journey, were there any upperclassmen or anything that were just kind of there to help support you, or you just kind of fought this battle on your own behind closed doors?
Nah, so I had two senior walk-ons,
Mhm.
and they were really just they were like black walk-ons too, which
Mhm.
coincidentally, there's not a lot of black walk-ons, a lot of them are white. But just seeing people like yourself who've been through what you've gone through, I'd say that really helped me. Like,
Mm.
they're there for me. Like I talked about the whole process with them before I walked on. And they're still here for me now. One of the ones who I'm talking about right now is the one who put me onto the program. So shout out Chase Love, Max Siegel. One is at Georgetown in law school. The other one's at Wells Fargo,
Oh
in
wow.
banking. So they're both very successful. And I think just talking to them, like they show me the path, and I saw it. Like when I saw what they did, I said I can do that too. So
Yeah.
it was a blessing to have those guys.
So
And
they kind of gave you like that kind of hope and motivation, and
exactly, yeah, yeah.
that's truly a blessing. So one final question before we wrap things up, my man. What advice would you
Mm.
give to the people out there on their mental health journey?
I'd say, man, I said the biggest thing is don't feel like you're like this it's a weakness that you're a weaker person for one, because first off, everybody goes through this. I
Mhm.
feel like we all struggle with it. And I'd say number two is you're not alone. Don't let yourself be in dark places alone. Like seek out people who love you, spend time with them. Seek out the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, man. He's here for you, man. He'll change your life. And I say three, man, do things you love. Because when you do things you love, man, it can really help you. If that's reading, if that's painting, if that's talking to your friends, if it's working out, do something you love every single day.
Mhm.
And focus on the positives, not the negatives. There's always negatives in life, man, but focus on the positives, man. It's a blessing where you are, man. It's a blessing to be here. Cup half full. I think that's the biggest thing life has taught me. It's perspective. Everything's perspective, man. Have a positive perspective and look at the cup half full, because
Mm,
at the end of the day, no matter what, it can always be worse. So,
that's
it's
true.
a blessing where you're at right now.
Be blessed for it. And thank God as always.
Amen. Amen. All glory to
Always.
God.
Well, thank you, Hakeem. Y'all heard it from the man right
Yes,
here,
sir. Yes,
the
sir.
myth, the legend. I want to thank you for joining this episode. Regis recipients, thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all already know, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes,
And
sir.
remember,
Yes,
it's
sir.
okay to not be
It's
okay.
all right.
You matter. It's your boy JD, and I'm out.